Messi joins Ronaldo in Champions League heartbreak. Aguero could be on his way out. Liverpool shows some European pedigree. Pulisic's future has a few questions around it and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and Barcelona, Lionel Messi out of the Champions League. Of course, it's hardly a surprise after losing 4-1 in their own backyard in the first leg. PSG just basically needed to not completely and utterly collapse. But there was one point when I thought Barcelona were actually going to do it. It was that point when they had a penalty, but Lionel Messi hadn't taken the penalty yet. Of course, getting a goal just before half-time, and at that point, Mbappe had scored a penalty, and Messi has scored an absolute banger from 30 yards into the top corner. At that point, I thought, you score a goal now, go in, regroup at half-time. You got to score 2 goals in the second half. That's not completely unattainable. But then he missed. Well, I should say Navas saved it, and it was a pretty good save as well. And that meant that obviously they are out of the Champions League. Lionel Messi is out of the Champions League with Barcelona, and they failed to reach the quarterfinals for the first time in 14 years, and both he and Ronaldo will not be in the quarterfinals for the first time since 2005. And after all this, Ronald Koeman said, yeah, but we played well. Messi should know that we've got a bright future at the club, the new president, some young players, we're playing exciting football. That is hardly what Lionel Messi wants to hear. Like, some of that might be true. I'm just not so sure that with a player who's won what he's won and played in all the games that he's played in, really wants to hear all that the future's going to be bright and happy after they've just been beaten 5-2 on aggregate by a team who are so far away from them right now. As for PSG, it looks like they're buying into Pochettino's methods, and Kylian Mbappe became the youngest player in Champions League history to score 25 goals, beating the record set by, you know it, Lionel Messi. Messi and Ronaldo both out of the competition. Haaland and Mbappe both through to the next round after both scoring and helping their team. I kind of feel like it's a bit of the changing of the guard, and it's bringing a tear to my eye. Anyway, on top of this, and talking about Messi's future, Angelina will be bringing out a video tomorrow discussing where he could potentially go, where he's going to fit in, and what else is going to be happening at Barcelona, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one. Next up then, into a bit of transfer business, and it involves Sergio Aguero potentially moving to Barcelona. Yesterday, it looks like Barcelona had offered a deal to David Alaba. I'm not so sure that one's going to go through, but now they could be putting one on the table for Sergio Aguero. Of course, this does fit Barcelona in the fact we don't think they're going to have a load of money to make a big signing. So, skip the transfer fee. They're going straight for the contract for Aguero. The thing is, this kind of goes against what Koeman was also saying in his press conference last night about the future being great and there's loads of young talents coming through. So why would they go and sign, basically, an injury-cropped 32-year-old? If they wanted an early 30 striker who's going to get them a load of goals, they shouldn't have let go of Luis Suarez, who, by the way, scored last night as Atletico Madrid took another step towards the La Liga title. And talking of steps towards the title, Aguero's Manchester City also did the same with a brilliant 5-2 win against Southampton. But aside from that, Aguero is probably a good move for him. It's probably a little bit of a move to get Messi to sign by bringing one of his closest friends. But in terms of the future, it's not exactly what Barcelona should be going for at the minute, especially as they've also still got Antoine Griezmann, who in my opinion has turned things around a little bit and is becoming a bit more of a valuable player at Barca. Next up then, and to Liverpool and the other side of Liverpool, the European side of Liverpool, the ones that can go to Leipzig, who were last season's semi-finalists, and say, you know what, whether it's home or away or at a neutral ground, we're winning this game. Both games they won 2-0. Salah and Mane looked on great form despite the fact they missed a few chances. They got their goals in the end. But for me, the brilliant performance and the major difference goes to Fabinho. He has done very well fitting into Liverpool's defensive line this season with so many injury worries, but the fact that Kabak and Phillips played at centre-back and meant that Fabinho could go into midfield just showed that he is such a key part of this team. Not saying it doesn't matter which centre-backs you've got behind you, because they had very good games, especially Nat Phillips, but having Fabinho in front of you just makes a world of difference, both defensively and when it comes to breaking up the play and moving the ball forward as well. It was such a stunning performance from the Brazilian. Klopp recognised it as well, and honestly, he is such a key part of this team in that midfield area that they need to keep him there for the rest of the season if they're to have any hope in the Champions League and any hope of getting into the Champions League places in the Premier League table. Next up though, and to a bit more transfer news, and this one I'm less than inclined to believe, and it's apparently surrounding Christian Pulisic's future at Chelsea. They paid around 60 million for him, so if they're going to sell him, they're going to want that kind of money, and at the moment, he's not really proving to be worth it, but it's not really his fault. When Thomas Tuchel came in, I was like, Tuchel, Pulisic, they know each other from Dortmund, they're going to be great together, he's going to give him loads of confidence, the American's going to go out and play some fantastic football, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. He hasn't really got the minutes that you think his talent would deserve, but to be fair to him, it's not necessarily Tuchel's fault because, well, he's got other other good players playing some fantastic form as well, especially the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi and of course Mason Mount. So there are two teams who have been linked with Christian Pulisic and making a move. The first is Liverpool, which isn't going to happen. Not because Liverpool won't want him, not because he's not a great player, just because Chelsea aren't going to sell to a direct rival. That'd be the maddest thing. Maybe? No. This is no way. There's no way Chelsea are going to directly sell a quality player to a rival. As I mentioned, if no one's going to pay that 60 million, they're not going to sell him on the cheap as well. The other team is Bayern Munich, who recently bought from the Premier League with Leroy Sané, but they've also got Kingsley Coman. Of course, Serge Gnabry is there. The future's looking bright with the likes of Jamal Musiala as well. I can't see them going in for Pulisic at the moment. I would have used the excuse that because he played for Dortmund, one of Bayern's biggest rivals, he won't go and play for Bayern, but that seems to be non-existent in the Bundesliga, as there is a huge list of players who have played for both clubs. Finally then, we come to a quick read up of the rest of the day's transfer news, and there's a bit of a nonsense rumour in here. But first off, Pelé is getting his own stadium named after him. In Brazil, the National Maracanã Stadium will be named after the legendary Brazilian player. Elsewhere, and Sporting wonderkid Nuno Mendes is being looked at by the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool, who have also joined Juve and AC Milan in the race for the kid's signature. Steven Gerrard says that he will be staying at Rangers and that he, as a Liverpool fan, wants Jurgen Klopp to stay on the Liverpool for many years to come, although it is his dream to one day take over his boyhood club. And lastly but not least, talking about this nonsense rumour, Achraf Hakimi is being looked at by the likes of Arsenal. Is he really going to leave the Serie A leaders and probably Serie A title winners this season, who will be in the Champions League next season, who have a brilliant team, to go and move to a team who are doing quite well under Mikel Arteta in terms of the progression, apparently, but may not even make a Europa League spot? I really don't see that one happening. No disrespect to Arsenal, I just don't think he's going to be making that move at this point in his career. So there you have it. That is all from me for today. Check everything else we've got going on. Leave your thoughts below, and until next time, I will see you guys later.